What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon discussion video. Today we are going to be talking about egg moves in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. There are a ton of new egg moves being given to a bunch of Pokemon, and I think these are going to completely change some of these Pokemon's competitive sets, as well as make some Pokemon who weren't really competitive have a chance at being used in things like VGC, in things like singles, in pretty much any format. There are a bunch of changes here, so I figured I would make a video talking about all these just to catch everyone up to the same page. Now, I just want to give a little disclaimer. These aren't move tutor moves. That's going to be something I'm going to be covering in a completely different video. These are just new egg moves and new level up moves that are being given to a bunch of Pokemon. This is kind of like Pokemon's attempt at like patching the game. They're trying to tweak the metagames a little bit more to their liking. So we're going to be starting off here. This is a a post from Smogon. These are all confirmed. These are all from like data mines and leaks. So if you don't like leaks, you want to figure all this stuff out for yourself, this is now your chance to stop watching the video. But we're going to start to talk about all these, and we're going to go down most of the list and talk about any significant moves that we see. So this first example, Armaldo getting Bug Bite. So it shows that Armaldo now gets Bug Bite through breeding. I know the Bug Bite is also a move tutor, so it just shows that, some moves are going to be on here multiple times. Well, not like multiple times, but like they'll overlay with move tutor moves. But Armaldo getting Bug Bite, that's awesome. I mean, it's a bug type. Bug Bite is an amazing move. It stabs it. It's really, really good in any formats that use a ton of berries. Avalugg, I'm going to butcher every one of these names, aren't I? Avalugg getting Wide Guard. Now, I always think any Pokemon getting Wide Guard is really, really good. And you may think, well, Avalugg isn't good. Why is it getting Wide Guard? Well, the reason why Avalugg's probably getting Wide Guard is so it can be the breeding chain in another Pokemon, so that Pokemon can egg move Wide Guard. Because breeding isn't just like this magical thing that happens. Like, for example, to get an Aegislash with Wide Guard, you used to have to get, or like a Gigalith with Wide Guard, you had to go through like a 3 or 4 breeding chain with like Caracosta, and it started off on like a fighting type, ended off on like a rock type, then went to like a rock water, then went to like a mineral, and then you can breed it onto the Aegislash. So there are breeding chains you have to go through, and putting Wide Guard on Avalugg might just be a way to shorten that breeding chain for people, and I think it's really cool that Pokemon companies doing stuff like that. Beware getting Bind, I don't really think that matters. I also think that Bind is a move tutor move now, so that's probably why it's also on here. Decidueye has some really cool moves though. It's going to get Phantom Force, Leaf Storm, Shadow Sneak, and Ominous Wind is meh. But those first 3, Phantom Force, remember that breaks Protect. I think it's a 90 base move. It's super good. It's like a Ghost Fly or a Ghost Dig, but I think it breaks Protect, which is really good. Leaf Storm, it's about time Decidueye got Leaf Storm, and Shadow Sneak is probably going to be a really good move on Decidueye in singles. I know Decidueye was really reliant on Sucker Punch, and that can be taken advantage of, but you can like Spirit Shackle them, and then they can't leave, and you can just kind of set up and then priority them out with a Stab Shadow Sneak. I think that's going to be very good. Bunch of cool stuff for Decidueye. I'm really looking forward to that. Dunsparce getting Mud Slap. I don't think that matters. Hypno Wake Up Slap, not really important. Incinerating Double Kick. Now, I don't know if this is a move that Incineroar is going to get upon evolving, or if it's an egg move, but I think this Double Kick is a really good move for just playing through the actual game. Because if you think about Incineroar, when you're playing through the game, it has like a fire attack, it probably has like Ember or something, and then it gets like Darkest Lariat or something like that. But I don't think Incineroar really had a fighting type attack, just the level through playing the game experience. So I always think Double Kick is an amazing move. It helps you beat those like Geodudes and other pesky rock types, which have that really big defense. A nice solid fighting type attack is really good. So I'm excited to see Double Kick on Incineroar. I'm probably going to be starting with Litten in this this next like half generation of games, because I started with Rowlet in the first one, and I'm going to start with Litten this time. So I'm excited to see Double Kick on Incineroar. Jirachi Lucky Chant, it makes sense, but I don't really think it's going to be usable. Jump Off Absorb, that's kind of useless. Now we're getting, oh, I'm not even, yeah, I gotta scroll down this page, don't I? I'm like talking and I'm not scrolling down, aren't I? There we go. Ah, I went way too far. There we go. So we're going to see the first bolded one of these. We're going to see Close Combat on Kommo-o. Now, a lot of people didn't like Kommo-o. They thought it was really underwhelming. I thought Kommo-o was an amazing Pokemon. I've been playing since like the game first started back in Gen 1. I've been competitive since Gen 3. And in Gen 4, the Skarm Bliss was the thing. You needed dragons to be able to break the Skarm Bliss. Well, you needed dragons to be able to break the Blissey, but then you couldn't really break the Skarm, and it was really hard. But Kommo-o is like the perfect Pokemon that would have worked in Gen 4. It's like the dragon type all the Gen 4 players wanted. So I'm really happy that Como is actually getting a really strong stabbed fighting attack. And remember, Como also gets that exclusive Z move, so maybe there's going to be some synergy there. It's just about time Como got a really good attack. I'm really happy about that. Kyurem getting Noble Roar, I don't really know what that does, but it's probably a good move. I know it's all the legendaries get it. Lantern getting Spotlight. Now, for VGC, Lantern is a really cool mod. Remember, it can get either Water Absorb or Volt Absorb. They have to guess which one. So it getting Spotlight is like somewhat a way of redirection. Maybe that could go really well with someone using, you know, like Destiny Ball. And there's a ton of Spotlight shenanigans that can go on. But like, let's say someone wanted to use like a grass attack on the Lantern. You could Spotlight someone that has like, what is that ability? What is it called? The grass reduced, or the Sap Sipper. So like Spotlight like a Sap Sipper Gudra. And so, like, it'd be really, really cool. And what if you, like, paired it with someone that also had Spotlight? Like, that mushroom thing. So you could, like, that's just a grass, so it would resist grass. Yeah, that's perfect. So, hey, you could Spotlight them, and they could Spotlight you, and they don't know who's going to Spotlight who. And I think shenanigans like that are really, really fun. So I'm excited to see Lantern get Spotlight. Lorantis getting Night Slash is pretty good. I don't really use Lorantis, but Night Slash is an amazing move most of the time. I actually think most moves that aren't stabbed need to be like base 80, maybe base 90 to even be considered to being used, but Night Slash has a high crit ratio, and sometimes Night Slash kind of sneaks in under the radar. So Night Slash, you know, decent addition to Lorantis, got no problem with that. Necrozma, Photon Geyser, no clue what that does. Necrozma's an Uber, don't know that much about it. Another Uber is Palkia, getting not Icy Ring. I almost said Icy Ring. Getting Aqua Ring. Now I think that's pretty cool for Palkia. I've liked Palkia for a while. It's one of the better Ubers in singles for Ubers, and you know, probably a good addition. I think that might actually see some play. Primarina getting Icy Wind. Now Icy Wind is a move tutor move, and so it makes sense that Primarina would get it anyways. I think they're just cutting corners, giving it Icy Wind. This might be this type of thing where they're doing to help link those breeding chains, like I said earlier with Helix. So, always cool to see Icy Wind on a bunch of Pokemon. Icy Wind is an amazing move in VGC, but it's also somewhat useful in doubles and Battle Spot singles. Sometimes it's just a better version of Ice Beam. Like sometimes, you know, you don't actually want to KO something, you want to Icy Wind on its switch in, and then you can switch out to something that can then take advantage of the speed control you have now inflicted on them. So, Icy Wind, an amazing move. Glad to see more Pokemon are getting it. Reshiram, Noble Roar, another Uber, another really cool move. I should probably look up what that move does. Probably pretty good. Now, Tauros getting Double Edge is actually pretty cool. If I think about Tauros, I don't know if Tauros actually had like really strong stabbed normal moves. Like what is it? Like Rock Climb. Either way, Tauros getting a 120 base normal stabbed attack is amazing. Tauros is always on the like sidelines of being almost usable in VGC, and in singles I think it's really good in the lower tiers, so giving it a really stabbed strong like attack, that's amazing. So you can just throw a choice bound on there. Tauros actually has a pretty high base speed, and you can just go to town. Like Tauros is pretty good. Serena getting Punishment, that's not important, but Serena getting Power Whip, now that's something that I'm down for. It's a game too late. If Serena had Power Whip in this last gen, not last gen, but if it had it in Sun and Moon, that would have been amazing. Like, just think about it. Serena with Power Whip, that Pokemon probably would have been a staple most of the format, because one of its problem was that it didn't have enough damage. People were using like Fighting MZ Serenas to maximize high jump kick because that was its strongest move, but it wasn't stabbed. Imagine if you could use like Grassy MZ Power Whip Serena in VGC 2017, or even in singles. It'd be amazing. So really excited to see Serena get Power Whip. Hopefully it isn't obsolete at this point and still might see some play. So we're going to scroll down again. This is a huge list, so I'm sorry, you guys are going to be in for a little bit. So we're going to see Aber get Psychic Terrain. I don't really know how I feel about that. I think it's pretty cool. I love casting manual terrains. I think people never expect that stuff, so pretty cool to see Aber get that. Ambipom getting Tail Slap. I could have swore it already had Tail Slap, but that was just me. Bellsprout getting Strength Sap. Now, a couple Pokemon are getting Strength Sap. I don't really know that much about this move. Someone left a comment on one of my videos talking about how like it deals damage or restores HP based off your opponent's attack stat, and then they get an attack drop, which almost seems like an okay move, but if that's really what it does, it gets weaker every turn, which means I don't like that. So if you guys know what Strength Sap does, leave a comment in the comments below. Let me know, because I don't really know what it does. Also, leave a comment with what Noble Roar does. I don't know what that does. Bidoof getting Mud Sport, not really important. Blitzel getting Faint. So Faint on Blitzel. Blitzel obviously not a Pokemon that is incredibly competitive, but Faint is a move that is very competitive, and I think Blitzel getting Faint is going to be amazing. Pokemon might actually see play in doubles just because Faint is that good, and it's the unseen Feints that are the deadliest. Now, I want to let you guys know what Faint does, because not everyone even knows what it does. I think it's like a 30 or 40 base power move, but it breaks, protects, breaks wide guards, and that is something that is used exclusively in doubles all the time. It lets you set up for like huge KOs, and it's only really good when your opponent never sees it coming. Like, imagine if you were just to use Faint and they didn't protect. You're completely wasting your time. You might as well be doing nothing. But when you read them like that, oh my gosh, it's so juicy. So Faint on Blitzel, not bad. I'm actually happy to see that. Buffalont getting Cotton Guard. Cotton Guard, I think, is that the move that gives you like a +3 defense? I'm down for that. I'll probably try and use that in like lower tier singles eventually. That's pretty cool. Weasel getting Helping Hand. Wait. Alright, so Blitzel is... I got Blitzel and Weasel mixed up. So Blitzel actually getting Faint. That is the horse thing getting Faint. That is amazing. That Pokemon is like somewhat competitive anyways. For some reason I thought Blitzel and Weasel were the same. Were switched. But yeah. So I'm going to go back to Faint for Blitzel. That is amazing. Like, Blitzel already has Motor Drive. That's an amazing ability. It gets access to Overheat. It gets access to, like, Volt Switch. You could put Faint on that thing. They'll never see it coming. And then, like, Protect. That's a solid move set. You could put a Choice Item on that. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put a Choice Item on that. Probably, like, a Z move or a Life Orb. But now we're back down to Weasel. Weasel getting Helping Hand. I also think Weasel should get Faint. That'd be really cool, too, by the way. But Helping Hand on Weasel, amazing. Helping Hand is an amazing move. Everything should get Helping Hand. I love that. I love Helping Hand. It makes any Pokemon somewhat viable, because you can just use it as a Helping Hand bot. So you can be like, yeah, I styled on this guy with a Weasel. But reality, you just used Helping Hand for like 4 turns and nuked them with AoE from your partner. So, but still, that stuff like that's fun. So, Carnivine getting Acid Spray. I don't think Carnivine's really that good, but Acid Spray is a somewhat decent move. Maybe it'll help us see some play in doubles. Grassy Terrain from Cherubi. Cool, getting more terrains. Trimeco actually gets a couple cool moves. It's going to get Crafty Shield. Amazing. More things should get Crafty Shield. And Perish Song. Now, I know a lot of high-level VGC players really like Trimeco. Trimeco is somewhat of a fan favorite. And there's always room for more Perish Song users. Perish Trap is a very strong team in what will be the VGC 2018 meta. And, you know, Trimeco's probably going to make its way onto a couple teams as somewhat of a meme. But a lot of people don't really know Trimeco's stats, like its bulk, how much damage it can take, or its speed tiering. So Trimeco might actually see play. I would not be surprised to hear that Trimeco cuts a regional, or at least like preseason, midseason showdowns this season. So yeah, Trimeco getting Perish Song, probably going to make that Pokemon somewhat viable. So we're going to scroll down again. I think we're almost done with the list. Trimeco. So we're going to see Cottony get Misty Terrain. Now, Cottony evolves into Whimsicott, right? So that is the, I always call it the sheep, but that's the prankster user. And giving more prankster Pokemon moves that they can use with their prankster that aren't bad. Like, before, if you wanted to not get, like, Choice Scarf Sport or something like that, you would use Safeguard. Now Cottony can hardcast the Misty Terrain, and that's just like a step up because it protects everything on the ground. It changes their terrain if they have it, and it weakens the power of Dragon-type moves. So, Misty Terrain on Cottony, I know that's going to see play because I'm probably going to use it as like a 4th slot. It's kind of like using a Weather Phaser, like a Prankster Sunny Day user. Now we're going to have Prankster Terrain Hardcasters. It's going to be pretty good stuff. Cubone getting Curse is pretty good, because remember, Cubone has 2 forms. It has the regular Cubone form, and remember, if a non-ghost type uses Cursed, it gets an attack boost, a defense boost, and a speed drop. But then Cubone also has an Alola form, remember? So that means it's going to be able to use Curse, and if a ghost type uses Curse, it cuts its HP down by 50%, puts a Curse on the opponent that deals 25% of their health every turn. So do I think that's going to be really good in VGC? Probably not, but I think it's really cool that Cubone gets access to that move because it is one of my favorites. I really actually like Z-Curse. I'm actually pretty sure Z-Curse puts the curse on your opponent and like fully restores you or something like that. Maybe it fully restores you and then cuts your health or something like that. I know Gary Quain, Zygarde Awaken top cut San Jose with it this season. So like maybe we might be able to see some bulky Lightning Rod Marowak with Z-Curse instead of like a Thick Club. That'd be really unique, and I'd be actually really down to see something like that. Cutify getting Powder, I don't really think that's that important. Powder is a move that puts powder on your opponent's Pokemon, and if they use a fire attack, it nullifies that attack, and I think it hurts them a little bit. So if you're pairing, like if your team's all weak to fire, having a really fast powder user might actually be viable. I don't know how viable, but I think it's cool that Cutify is getting that move. Cutify also gets Sticky Web. Now in singles, Sticky Web is a really good attack. It's an attack that it's kind of like a hazard, like Stealth Rocks and Spikes. It comes out and anything that is touching the ground, so things that are flying and levitate avoid this, but anything that touches it gets a -1 speed drop. So it's actually really good in singles, and I've actually been thinking about how I can work that into a VGC strategy. Like, instead of using Trick Room, what if you just used Sticky Web and maybe like Aurora or a red card user, and then you have their whole team like hit with Sticky Web. You don't even need speed control. It's going to be there all game. It's going to be like a Tailwind they can't get rid of. It's going to be like a Trick Room that doesn't expire. Who knows, stuff like that could actually be really cool, and a lot of people don't really look at things that way. So Sticky Web on Cutify might be pretty good. We'll probably see it play at least in singles. Darumaka getting Extra Sensory, I don't really know how I feel about that. I know Darmanitan's one of my favorites, that's mostly a physical attacker, but I know the Zen mode is like a special attacker. So maybe that might see some play. Maybe Darmanitan's just getting it to be a part of a breeding chain. I'm pretty sure Darmanitan is in the Field A group, and that's a pretty big A group, so maybe that's the only Pokemon in there with Extra Sensory now. I don't really know. So maybe that's just part of a breeding chain or something like that. Dedenne's getting Tearful Look. I don't know what that does. Dedenne's not that great, but if that move's good, you know, Dedenne is somewhat of a fan favorite. It might see some play. Now, you may be wondering why Deerling having Headbutt is bolded like it's a good move, but remember, Deerling's hidden ability is Syringe Race. Headbutt has a 30% chance to flinch. It's like a 70 or 80 base power move, and it's stabbed. So think about it like Syringe Race Air Slash Togekiss. That thing is pretty good. Deerling has pretty good bulk, pretty good speed, pretty good offensive stats. This will see play in the lower tiers of singles. It might even go all the way up to UU. I wouldn't be surprised to just slap a Choice Scarf, slap a Choice Band on it, go to town, flinch town, and just win the game through some Syringe Race hacks. Pretty good stuff. I'm excited to see that. I mean, I'm gonna use it because like that's what I'm about. In like Battle Spot singles, like Battle Spot Special, I love using those like gimmicky like Paraflinch Syringe Race mons. It's one of my favorite abilities in text. So Dano getting Belch, not important. Delibird getting Counter, I think that's pretty cool. Counter is somewhat of a meme move. Delibird's somewhat of a meme Pokemon. The more memes, the better, and that's okay. That's okay with me. Dewpider getting Sticky Web. Now, we were talking about Cutify getting Sticky Web a little while ago, and I think Dewpider is probably just a better version of Cutify. It's bulkier, you know, it has more offensive stats through the use of, what is it, Water Bubble and, like, really good stab moves. It's really good in VGC. I don't know how good it is in singles, but I'd be surprised if someone told me it was bad in singles. I think it has enough bulk to be good in singles, I think. So, Dewpider getting Sticky Web, that's probably going to be the best Sticky Web user. I know a lot of people think Galvantula is probably the best. It's, like, kind of more, somewhat of like a glass cannon. Not even a glass cannon, more of a suicide lead Sticky Web user. I think Dewpider has the bulk to be able to stick around. I think it's funny, like Sticky Web stick around, but has the bulk to be able to stick around and, you know, actually take advantage of the Sticky Web. It's not so slow that it wouldn't be able to capitalize on things being able to -1 speed. So, Dewpider getting it, really good. All bug types should get Sticky Web, that's what I think. So we see Drowsy getting a couple moves, Power Split and Psychic Terrain. That's pretty cool. Those are all very, like, niche moves, and Drowsy needs some help, so getting those moves is a pretty good thing. Alright, are we almost done? Ducklet gets Aqua Jet. I don't really think that's that good. I think Pelipper is completely outclassed Ducklet as like the water flying Pokemon, but you know, maybe Ducklet getting Aqua Jet could make for like a really gimmicky like PU set for the evolved form of Ducklet, like Swanna with like Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Waterfall, and like I don't know, like Sky Attack with like a Power Herb or like a Flying Gem bounce. Just use it off Fly. I have no idea. Maybe that could see some play in singles. That's pretty funny. We're going to talk about Farfetch. It gets a couple of pretty good moves. First Impression and Final Gambit. Wow, Farfetch is going to see play in the lower tiers. First Impression, remember that's a bug type attack, I think. But it has like, it's really strong, but it can only be used on the first turn that the thing is sent out. It's a move exclusive to Galiciopod, I think. And then Final Gambit, that's another really cool gimmicky move. Farfetch is going to be a meme machine. It already had some actually pretty cool moves. So I'm really excited to see that. Maybe, like I've said earlier multiple times, this is all part of breed chaining. So this is just good to see. I love seeing stuff like this. Fennekin getting Psychic Terrain, that's really cool. I like Delphox a lot. I wish Delphox was better. I think it's probably the first actual Fire Psychic thing, and maybe it might not be the first, but I mean, it's really unique typing that not a lot of other mons have, so it being able to get more Psychic type moves is really, really cool. We see Finneon with Confuse Ray. Love seeing more things with Confuse Ray. A lot more things should get it. Because I actually like putting Swagger on a lot of mons. I know that Swagger is actually banned in singles, and it can miss. Like, it can miss all the time. I like to use Confuse Ray over Swagger a lot of times because it can't miss, and you can use Confuse Ray on your opponent's physical attackers without accidentally making them, like, crazy sweepers that can win the game. So, more things with Confuse Ray, that's pretty good. Where are we even at? We're at Finneon, right? Yeah. So we see Flabebe with Tearful Look. Don't know what that does. Someone should leave a comment in the comments below and let me know. Giraffer gets Psychic Terrain and Psychic Fangs. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what is Psychic Fangs? I've never seen that move. It's actually a move that came out in Gen 7 in Sun and Moon. I think like Sharpedo could get it. Stoutwind could get it. It's pretty much just like a Thunder Fang, all those other type of moves. But it's a Psychic one. So I've seen that actually being paired a lot with like Psychic Terrain things, like people are using Stoutwind Lele and going for like Psychic Terrain boosted Psychic Fangs. It's not super strong, but it's pretty cool, and when it does work, it's pretty style points. So more things with Psychic Fangs, I'm down, especially if they stab them. So we're going to see Hawlucha get Faint. We already talked about the usefulness of Pokemon getting Faint, making some Pokemon that weren't even very usable. Now, Hawlucha is a Pokemon that is definitely usable. It has the Unburden ability. I'm pretty sure it'll get access to Tailwind. And for those of you guys that don't know, the Unburden ability says whenever you use your item, you double your speed. So if you put like a normal gem on it, you can like fake out and get like a ×2 speed boost, so you can be super fast next turn. So like Hawlucha, pretty good Pokemon. It can also use normal gem off of Faint. So Faint being a pretty cool move, I'm really excited to see Hawlucha get. So that is going to be a staple in most Hawlucha movesets, I'm pretty sure. Where are we? Hoot gets Mean Look and Hurricane. I think it's really cool that Hoot gets Mean Look, but the Hurricane is actually pretty good. It's about time they're starting to spread Hurricane to all the other like bird Pokemon. Who knows, there might be some sort of like Noctowl set in PU or like RU or something like that that abuses Hurricane, because I think Noctowl is somewhat usable. I know like Ash had one in the show, so a lot of people like Noctowl. I know it gets Hypnosis, so it might be able to like set up with a Hypnosis. I wouldn't be surprised if it were Nasty Plot or at least Calm Mind, and you know, just went to town with huge Hurricanes. So pretty good stuff. Like to see that from Noctowl. It shows that Hop Hip getting Strength Sap is bolded. I don't know. I don't think that move's good, but I don't think I know exactly what it does. But I mean, Hop Hip's an amazing Pokemon. Chlorophyll is the ability that you use on Hop Hip and Jump Puff and stuff. So Hop Hip getting it, that's pretty good. And Jump Puff's amazing. I used Jump Puff a lot of the VG 2016 season. That was the season with all the Ubers in it. So I mean, if it's good enough to use with Ubers, it's good enough to be a competitive Pokemon in my opinion. And I've always liked Jump Puff. Alright, is this the last stretch? Are we almost? No, we're not there yet. We're almost there. My voice is like going out. So Luminous getting Aromatherapy. More Aromatherapy users the better. I don't think Luminous is very competitive, but Aromatherapy is a good move. Inkay getting Guard Swap. That makes sense. I was surprised that Inkay didn't already know Guard Swap, so that's good. Sorry. So Joltik getting Lunge, I don't think that's very good. Lunge is a physical attack, Joltik is a special attacker. That's not going to go well, but maybe it's for breeding change to put Lunge on things like Heracross. You know how sick that would be if I didn't have to use, like, freaking Mega Horn every time? If I could just use, like, an actual regular bug attack, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe, you know, it's going to be able to put Lunge on things that aren't bug types. Like, imagine if, like, Kartana had Lunge, you know, or, like, things that weren't bug types that just don't have the best defense stat. Like, this is just an example, this is bad, but like Blaziken with Lunge, you know, that'd be pretty good. You can use Lunge instead of Protecting to give yourself the, make it so you have the survivability to make sure you get your speed boost. So I'm actually down to see more things get Lunge, and that's pretty good. Coughing getting Venom Drench, that's not that good, I don't think. Ladybug getting Endure and Counter. Now, this is a weird pick. I actually really like Ladybug and Ledian. I've used them since like Gen 4 in like little meme teams with like, I use like a Sash Bide Ledian as a joke. I think Sash Counter Ledian is a step up from that as far as competitive play goes. So I'm definitely going to try and meme on some people with Ledian. I love the way Ledian looks. So it getting Endure is also just pretty good, and Counter is like the real good thing that I'm looking at. So Counter Ledian is going to be my jam. So Lickitung getting Thrash, that might not be bad if we think about it, because like it's a normal type, it stabs it. It'll at least be good in any like, you know, in-game playthrough where you're trying to use a Lickitung, but it might actually see some play in lower tiers, because Licky isn't weak. I think it has like at least over base 100. So if you think about it in like a lower tiers, you can slap like Thrash, Explosion, and like Power Whip and like Aqua Tail on that thing, and just throw a Choice Band on it and be like, alright, I'm at least trading 1 for 1. If they have something that gets KO'd by Thrash, I'm trading like 1 for 2. So it's pretty good stuff. It might actually see play on Lickitung. Lit End getting Power Trip's actually pretty cool. I know Power Trip is a move that deals damage based off of your boost. So like, let's say you like Baton Pass like an extreme Evo boost to it, you're gonna be extremely fed, and you're gonna just be slamming like, I think it's stabbed too, like stabbed Power Trips, just destroying everyone's life. And there's one thing I wanted to note. So it says Litten here. So that means Litten gets it as an egg move. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. See, Litten is here, but if you remember, where is it? Where was, what's that Pokemon's even name? Incineroar, right? Incineroar's up here. Now remember, these are level up and egg moves. So that means that Incineroar getting here, that's like I said, why I said I think it's going to be good in like a story mode run, is it probably gets it at like level 40 or as like a level up move, which means it's going to be good as a story. That's what I wanted to talk about. I remember that. Like things that get it, that when the evolved forms get it, that means it's a level up move. I don't know if that's really important, but I think it's pretty cool to mention. Where is Litten? Alright, found it. Alright, so Mantine getting Amnesia. I don't really think that's amazing. I think Mantine is actually going to see a lot of play in VGC 2018 next season. But I don't think it getting Amnesia is that important, because there's just not enough time to set up an Amnesia. And its special defense is through the roof. Maybe if you gave Mantine Iron Defense, I might be a little bit more hyped. So, Mining getting Tearful Look, I should really just look up what that move does. I should have looked all this up before I made this video. Murkrow getting Punishment, not that important. Numel getting Heavy Slam is important though. Numels and like Camerupt are mostly known as being special attackers, but Heavy Slam is an amazing move, and this might be a breeding chain into other Pokemon for like, you know, next gen. Like maybe Pokemon is putting all these moves on these Pokemon so things in next gens can have like easier breeding chains. So I'm actually completely down for Numel getting Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam's an amazing move, and you'd be surprised. Let's think about this for an example. Like Heavy Slam from a Camerupt, completely uninvested in attack, might KO a Bulu. And you're thinking, like, oh, but like you can just use a fire attack on a Bulu, but like, what if they have a Heatran in the back and you don't want to use a fire attack? What if it's raining? Like you wouldn't KO the Bulu in the rain. The correct play would be to use a Heavy Slam. And a Heavy Slam also KOs like Lele and a bunch of other things. So Heavy Slam's pretty good. It doesn't even need investment, it just KO things. That's how strong it is. So we're gonna see Oddish get Strength Sap. More Strength Sap shenanigans. That move is probably pretty good. Next up, Onix with Wide Guard. Now, this is one of the reasons I even wanted to make this video. Steelix is amazing. For you guys that don't like Steelix, you're missing out. Steelix is a really good Pokemon. It's similar to how Skarmory was in Gen 4 for singles. And I've been waiting for Steelix to get a move that makes it useful in VGC. I'm going to style on people with Mega Steelix, and I'm going to be using a Wide Guard set. I might just cut Protect for Wide Guard, because people aren't going to see this coming, and it's going to be amazing. Wide Guard is so good, and I'm so happy that Steelix finally got it. Oshawott getting Sacred Sword, and this is pretty cool. It makes, I don't even know what it's, Samurott? Is that the final evolution? It makes Samurott kind of like a really bad Keldeo. And I'm down for that, because like you can just use it in the lower tiers, and you just got like a little mini Keldeo running around that's a little bit bulkier, but like way weaker. So I'm totally down for that. It gives it another really useful move. All it needs is like some sort of way to boost its attack or special attack stat just a little bit. Yeah, Sacred Sword is the one that's a special attack that targets a defense stat. Secret Sword, that's the bad one, I think. But Sacred Sword's good, so I'm happy that it got it. I think. Unless I have them mixed up, either way, both of them are good. Samurott, I think, has like the same stats, but I think it's just better as a special attacker. I don't know, that's my 2 cents. We're going to see Pachirisu get Baby Eyes. I think that's okay. Pansage getting Spiky Shield. I think it's really cool that more Pokemon are getting Spiky Shield, making it not just like a Togamaru and Chespin exclusive. I don't really know how Pansage would have the spikes to use it. I think there's plenty of other Pokemon, like, why doesn't Zigzagoon get Spiky Shields? I think Zigzagoon has enough spikes to use it, but anyways, maybe that'll happen in the future. Maybe this is a breeding chain for it. So we're going to scroll down. Alright, we're almost there. We're almost there. Panzer getting Belch. Panzer getting Flare Blitz. Wow, alright. Flare Blitz on that thing? Man, these monkeys might actually see play in the lower tiers. I know the water one was almost useful because it got like Nasty Plot in like previous gens, and like Nasty Plot plus like Stabbed Hydro Pump in a really low tier, that's enough to just win you the game right there. So yeah, Flare Blitz, you can't knock 120 base moves. They're really good. They make Pokemon that suck not suck. That's pretty much how it works. It'd be funny to style on someone in VGC with a Pansear. I don't even know that thing's base speed, but if it's over 100, it's somewhat usable. You'll never know. We will never know. Paris getting drastically trained, that's pretty cool. Paris is a pretty unique mon that might actually see play. It's always been on the fringe. Like, it's always been kind of outclassed by Amoonguss. But it has a couple abilities. It has, like, Dry Skin and Damp, which are two things that Amoonguss doesn't have. And they put Paris, like, in its own separate category. I also think Paris gets Wide Guard, another really good ability, or another really good attack. So Paris might actually see some play. I don't know if we'll see Grassy train Paris, but you never know. Patrat getting Tearful Look, Patrat getting Bullet Seed, I don't think those really matter that much. I don't even know what its evolved form is. I know it's like a raccoon, but I don't think it's very good, so it doesn't really matter. Petalil getting Encore. Now, I don't know why it's not bolded. That's amazing. That's probably one of the best things in here. Remember, Lilligant is probably, well, in VGC 2017 in Sun and Moon, it was by far the best chlorophyll user to be paired in the sun with Torkoal. Now we're getting like Charizard and what is it? Ninetales back. I know Venusaur is the Pokemon you're going to pair with Charizard, but you might want to pair a Lilligant. It gets the same sleep powder. It's probably stronger than Venusaur. It's faster than Venusaur, and it doesn't have that like stab poison attack, but it has like Encore, which means they can't protect to block your sleep powder because you Encore them. So that is amazing. Like, Lilligant is going to be so good next gen. Like, just cut Protect. You don't even need it. Just put Encore there. I'm really excited for this. Fanfi getting high horsepower. It's about time. I think Earthquake on Domfan is pretty good. In singles, it doesn't matter. In singles, you're just going to run Earthquake. It's stronger and can't miss. But in VGC, Domfan might actually see play with high horsepower instead of the Earthquake. Because sometimes you don't want an Earthquake. You can pair like Domfan and Heatran together and just slam like single target Earthquakes with the use of high horsepower. It's pretty good. Piplup. That's the Empoleon thing, getting Power Trip. I like that. Empoleon is a pretty good target to Baton Pass, like stats too. So it getting Power Trip, if you want to make a physical Empoleon. Remember, that thing does get Defiant as its hidden ability. So that might actually work. That might be actually really, really good. I'm excited to see that. I think it's a really smart decision by the Pokemon Company. That's like a move that wouldn't normally go on that Pokemon, but they decided to give it to them based off of how the competitive scene looks. So it shows that they're paying attention to things that we think. Ponyta getting high horsepower, that is bolded, that is actually really good. Ponyta and Rapidash are physical attackers. They've always been like outclassed by things like Arcanine, Ninetales before the Alolan forms, and just a bunch of other things. I think they also get Flash Fire. They've been pretty fast, but they're not really that strong. I think it's like a base 105 or base maybe 110 if they're lucky on their attack stat. Like, if they're lucky. I think 105 or 100 is more accurate. But high horsepower, pretty cool. It now has access to a ground type attack. So if you get like a Swords Dance or some sort of offensive boost, maybe like a Choice Band or a Life Orb set, this Pokemon can actually be pretty good. All you need on high horsepower is enough damage to Oko Heatran in VGC to make that move viable. Maybe if you're like greedy, through the use of like a Choice Band or like a Swords Dance, having enough damage to Oko like a Tyranitar. Just things that can generally wall out your other attacks. Rapidash has a pretty cool moveset now that we think about it. It gets like Wild Charge, Flare Blitz, Mega Horn, high horsepower, and I think it also gets like U-Turn and some other like niche moves. It gets like Will-O-Wisp, all the other standard fire type attacks. So Rapidash might actually see play next season. I would love to see it. I like Shiny Rapidash a lot, and high horsepower is a great choice on this thing. Pumpkaboo getting Curse. I'm surprised he didn't already have it. Mimikyu getting Spite. Or sorry, Mimikyu getting Spite. I don't really think that's that good. I don't know that much about that Pokemon in the first place, but you know, it makes sense. Now, Riolu getting Meteor Mash. That is definitely going to be bolded here. One of Lucario's biggest faults is that it never really had a stabbed steel attack. You could use Iron Tail, I guess, back with previous move tutors. And like Mega Lucario, remember that thing's ability is Adaptability. It like double stabs all its stab moves. So giving it a strong steel move that isn't Bullet Punch or maybe Iron Tail to use, that's amazing. Like, I'm so down for this. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be amazing. I cannot wait to just slam Meteor Mashes onto people. I can't wait to miss Meteor Mashes on people too. So Rio getting Meteor Mash, I'm so down for that. Roselia getting Power Whip. I think that's really cool, but I know Roselia and Roserade are definitely special attackers, so I don't know how useful that's going to be. Maybe there's going to be a potential for like a physical Roserade. If it has over 100 base attack, like you can use it, like with like Gunk Shot, Power Whip, Protect and Sleep Powder, that actually might work, so you never know. Alright, where are we at? We're almost done. Did I like pass everything? We're almost done. So we see Sandy Gas. What is that? Is it that's the Sandcastle, right? Getting Curse? That's good. That's a good Pokemon to use Curse with. Giving things Curse that have recovery moves that thing gets Shore Up. Amazing. Like you can just Curse and be like, I'm actually gonna press recovery moves for the rest of the game, and unless you switch, you're gonna take 25%. And even if you switch, I'll just Curse that thing and do the same thing. So in mid to late game scenarios, if you already have hazards up in singles, Curse is amazing. Like, I love Curse, and this is perfect. Especially with, like, wow, like, a Z Curse with Shore Up on Sandygast? That's probably gonna see play. Like, I'm gonna make that. Scraggy getting Acid Spray? That is very surprising to see. Scraggy is a very good Pokemon in VGC. It's somewhat useful in singles as well. You can pair it with a teammate that's very slow. You can Acid Spray to sharply lower their special D and just have your teammate just come in with, like, a huge, like, destructive Z move, or like just strong move in general boosted by like Specs or Orb or something, and just pick up KOs that they normally wouldn't expect to get KO'd on. So it's kind of gimmicky, but it definitely works. Alright, what do we have next? We got Sentret with Baby Doll Eyes. I don't think that's going to be amazing. Sentret's not that good. Sawaddle with Grassy Terrain. Sawaddle's not that great either. Shelmet with Toxic Spikes, I think that's pretty good for singles. I really do like Shelmet in the Cavalier line. It getting Toxic Spikes is pretty good, because usually when you see that thing, they only ever send it out in a favorable situation for them, and so you're either protecting or switching to get away from it. Switching on a Toxic Spikes, you know, that's better than just using a Mega Horn, missing or dealing like 10% to like a Skarmory or like a Celesteal or something. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. I think Toxic Spikes is a good move on that guy. Skiddo getting Grassy Terrain, whatever. Spinarak getting Lunge, pretty cool to see Lunge on more bug types. I guess Spinarak and Ariados are technically physical attackers, so this is better than putting Lunge on like Cutiefly or whatever had it before. So pretty good to see Spinarak with Lunge. Spirit Tomb getting a Disable. I'm really surprised it didn't already have Disable. I wish Spirit Tomb was a little bit faster to be able to take advantage of the Disable. It already gets a bunch of really unique moves like what is it? Pain Split, and it doesn't get Encore, but it'd be really cool if it got Encore too. Like Encore Disable is an amazing strat, but putting Disables on it's pretty good. You know, like let's see. You could protect, right, when they use like their Moonblast, and if you're faster than them, you could disable the Moonblast, and you're back to being regular old Spirit Tomb that doesn't have any weaknesses. So who knows, something like that could actually be pretty cool. Spritzy getting Nasty Plot. Is Spritzy the Romatus looking thing? It's the opposite of the Swirlworks, right? That thing getting Nasty Plot, I'm down with that. That's a good thing. Nasty Plot should go on more Mons. Nasty Plot gives Mons, like I've said with Swords Dance, once you get a Nasty Plot or a Swords Dance on something, even if it's bad, you have to respect it now. And, you know, that makes things good. So I'm happy to see Nasty Plot on it. Swablu getting Play Rough. So Swablu evolves into Altaria. Physical Altaria was always my favorite. So it getting Play Rough, remember, Mega Altaria is a Fairy type. So, like, being able to stab a Fairy attack, you can have, like, Dragon Claw or Outrage, Play Rough. It gets Dragon Dance and have, like, Protect or Cotton Guard. That's actually pretty good. Like, I'm totally down. Oh, a normal attack. Put, like, Double Edge, because you got, like, a Pixelate. Whew. I guess you don't really need Play Rough then. But still, I think it's pretty cool. Play Rough's a pretty cool move. A lot of things should get Play Rough. I wish Play Rough was a move creator move, but I'll talk about that in another video. Swirlworks getting Sticky Web. This is actually pretty cool, because a Romatis, or what is this? This is the Cupcake one. So that's actually really good, because in singles, this thing, even in VGC, it uses like Belly Drum and all that stuff. So you could like Sticky Web with this. Then if they like Sticky Web or Stealth Attack you back, you Belly Drum, and if they led with a wall, they're not going to be able to break you. You now have a Belly Drummed Pokemon that set up its own hazards by itself, and then that game over. They've just lost. They've lost. If they led like, what is it? If they lead like a Gliscor or some sort of like bulky hazard setter, they just lost to that. So that's actually pretty good. And it's not a bug type. It makes sense that this thing gets it. It's like a sticky cupcake, so it gets Sticky Web. I think that's actually really cool. Kangle getting Wake Up Slap. I don't really think that matters that much. And we are almost to the final thing. Tepig getting Burn Up. I'm down. Like, what is it? What is its final evolved form of Tepig? What is it called? Emboar? Emboar should be used. You know what Emboar gets that a lot of people don't know? That thing gets Scald. It is a fire starter that just gets Scald. I remember back in the day when fire types started getting Solar Beam. I thought that was crazy. And Emboar gets like, now it gets Burn Up, it gets Scald, it probably gets Solar Beam. Just slap a Choice Specs on this guy and go to town. Like, I'm down. Burn Up, Tepig, seems like it could actually be used. Now, Tropius getting a move called Dragon Hammer. I have no clue what that does, but if it's anything like Wood Hammer, I'm down, and I want dragons to get some 130 or 120 base recoil moves. Imagine like a Garchomp with Dragon Hammer. It makes sense that they're only going to initially put it on like a bad thing. So like Tropius isn't even a dragon. Why does it have Dragon Hammer? What is Dragon Hammer? I should know. Alright, Tropius getting automatized. I don't really think that matters that much. Turtwig getting heavy slam. Oh, I just ruined the whole thing. There we go. Turtwig getting heavy slam is amazing. That is like really, really good. It's like I said, it was really good on like Camerupt. It's even better on Turtwig, who is just as heavy and actually a physical attacker. I love using Torterra. It's one of my favorite starters. It's great in the lower tiers, and it's even somewhat viable in VGC if you really want to make it work. But it's getting Heavy Slam. That's good. I will definitely use that on my Assault Vest set. Timepole getting Venom Drench. Don't think I'm going to use that. Volpeat getting Lunge. That's cool. Lunge on being on more things is just good for me. Whisper getting Whirlwind. I think that's pretty unique. But I don't know how well that's going to be used. Whirlwind and Roar. I think it already got Roar. Most things get Roar as a TM, so putting Whirlwind on there. Whirlwind, I think, is a little bit better than Roar because Roar is a sound-based move, so things like other Whismers who have this soundproof ability can't get Roar, but they can get Whirlwinded. So Whirlwind is like a step up, usually when you use that instead of Roar if you can. So it getting Whirlwind, I guess it's a power creep. It's a step up over Roar. Wishy-Washy getting Whirlpool. I don't know how good that is. Can you switch if you're in Whirlpool? I don't think you can. Maybe if you can't, that's actually pretty good. It might see play. You never know. I've always wanted to use like Whirlpool and Fire Spin somehow. Yamask getting Crafty Shielding, that's really cool. Young Goose getting Fire Fang and Ice Fang and Thunder Fang, that's really cool, but Young Goose is a bad Pokemon, so that's not that great. Now Zangoose and Zigzagoon, these last two were going out with a bang. Zangoose with Belly Drum, this is just the move that Zangoose needed to be competitive. Like, I know there's like a whole community of people that have been waiting to use Zangoose for who knows how long, and now that it gets Belly Drum, that is max attack, and you have to respect it. I will be making teams for Zangoose. Zangoose is like the coolest Pokemon. If it gets, I think it gets like Quick Attack, right? So like Belly Drum, Quick Attack, Crush Claw, and then like some sort of maybe like Fighting Attack or like Earthquake, maybe like a Poison Attack for Fairies, something like that. I'm gonna make Zangoose work, mark my words. That Pokemon is so cool, and I'm extremely excited to see it get Belly Drum. Now, a second Pokemon that already gets Belly Drum is Zigzagoon, and they gave Zigzagoon Extreme Speed, so now you can Belly Drum with your Zigzagoon, or like Linoon for example, and just start slamming these crazy Extreme Speeds. Like, that is ridiculous. If you think about it, Zigzagoon, like actually Zigzagoon, not even Linoon, was already amazing in Little Cup, which is a singles format where you use level 5, like, unevolved Pokemon. And now you have it, like, Belly Drum Extreme Speed. Zigzagoon's going to be banned in Little Cup if it isn't already. That just seems busted. But these last two, I'm super excited for Zangoose to get Belly Drum. I'm definitely going to make that work somehow. And Zigzagoon with Extreme Speed, that's pretty good. So, as you can tell, my voice is pretty shot. I talked for over like 40 minutes about this, but that is everything. That is everything's like, level up and egg moves. So, if I missed anything, leave a comment below, let me know. If I butcher these names, let me know. If I, there's a bunch of moves, I didn't even know what they do. So let me know about those in the comments below. Let me know what moves of all of these and all these Pokemon you are most excited about seeing. I want to know what you guys think about all of these new egg moves in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. It was a really long video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.